I'm Shelly from Frugal Family Home, and today I wanted to show you how to debone split chicken breasts. Now it's easier to do than you might think, and I usually buy boneless, skinless chicken breasts, but occasionally when I find the bone-in chicken breasts on sale for 99 cents a pound or less, I buy those and debone them myself. And you can also use the bones that are left over to make chicken stock too. So let's get started and I'll show you how easy it is to do.
First, you'll need a nice sharp knife and you'll need a cutting board. I love these flexible cutting boards, so easy to clean. And you also need some split chicken breasts, of course. So first, we're going to talk about the difference in the chicken breasts. There's chicken breasts that are easier to take the bones out and some that are harder. This breast right here is one that is easy to take the bones off. You just slip the knife under here and go along, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But this one here, this has a thicker bone and it is a little harder to debone, but I'll show you how I do it to lose as little meat as you can and get rid of that bigger bone there. So let's get started with the easy one first. So first, you just want to take the skin off and you just grab the skin and give it a pull. If it's a little slick, use a paper towel to grab a hold of it and then just set it aside. Now we're going to take the chicken breast and we're going to flip it over, and what we want to do is just go right under this bone and under this webbing here, or silver skin, whatever you want to call it, under there to get the bones removed. So just slide the knife under there and be sure to keep your fingers back and slide it just under there, working your way a little more forward slowly and staying as close to the bone and that skin as you can, and just work all the way down to the tip of the chicken breast. And then you want to poke it through and then cut all the way through the tip to kind of make that flap so you have something to hold on to. And now we have a nice little pocket started, and it'll be easier so we can hold that up and then work our way down some more. So we're going to stand the chicken breast up on end, and then we're just going to work along the bones all the way down the chicken breast. And make sure you cut as close to the bones as you can. And as you can see, I've gone down pretty far here, but there's a little flap in the front, kind of on those ribs that are sticking. So then stick the knife under there and then just cut away from you, right along those bones there to free up that area. And there we go. So now that's free. And now we just have one spot left. There's a little bone in there that's holding these two together. Now you could cut it out, but you can lose some meat. Instead, just pinch it around until you feel that bone. Then I want you to grab the bone side and the breast side and then just give it a pull and a little twist and a good firm pull, and that bone will come right out just like that. So now you have the bones removed and you have a nice skinless, boneless chicken breast, just like that. You want to check it for any extra fat, and then we're going to remove the tenderloin. Just pick it up and cut the tenderloin off. These are great for making chicken tenders. And then you have the breast, and you got those little fat pieces you can cut off or leave them on, whatever you prefer. Now let's get started with the one with the bigger bone that's a little harder. There's that big bone in there. It's really kind of thick. And so you want to cut this one a little differently than the others. Instead of going on the bone side, we're going to go kind of on the outer edge here and work our way towards the bone. And so we're going to slide the knife just under that silver skin there, that kind of gristly stuff. And there's a gristle section there towards the outer edge, and you want to cut under that. And I just kind of work a pocket open, and be careful with your fingers here, and go right under that gristly spot right there and give it a good cut. And there, now it's loosened up. So now we have a spot that's loosened up. We have a little skin here in the way, so we're going to cut that out of the way so we can easily work here. And we're going to stand it on end and just start working our way down along that bone a little bit. As you see, the tenderloin is right here, and I've not gotten it loosened up. So now I'm going to just take the tip of my knife and cut that loose so I can get as much of that tenderloin as I can. Now that we've got the tenderloin started and the breast started, we're going to cut along away from the large bone, kind of along those breastbones or the ribs, and we're going to try to stay as tight as we can and just keep working our way down just like we did on the other one, just along the rib cage. And then when we get almost all the way down, we're going to flip it over and cut out towards the front, and there we go. So now we have a nice big flap we can hold on to be able to debone this even more. Now we're going to cut down towards that larger bone, keeping as close to the other bones as we can to lose as little meat as possible, and just keep using the tip of the knife and pulling it back. And now that we've got this part, I take the skin off at this point if I haven't already. It just gets in the way at this point, so I just pull it off, get rid of it, and then we're going to stand it, the chicken breast kind of on the end, and go along that bone. Kind of feel how far in, and then just start cutting and pulling the meat back and holding it back and cutting, and cut as close to the bone as you can, but be sure to keep your fingers rolled back, kind of like I'm doing, to keep them out of the way, and keep cutting right along the bone and pulling it back just as you go along. So now we have this nice flap of chicken breast and the bones right there. And now we're going to cut down along that bone and try to get it all loosened up as closely to the bones as we can. And now you might run into a small bone here like we did in the other one. In this chicken breast, it was just the tendons, so I just gave it a pull and it came apart just like that. But sometimes there'll be a bone in there. But now the meat is off of the bones, and we have our chicken breast, and this one has a little bit more fat, so I'm just going to trim that up really nicely to get rid of that extra fat. And then we'll flip it over and we'll remove the tenderloin. And as you can see, the tenderloin's a little bit more cut up on this one because it's harder to keep it nice looking, but it's good for stir fry. So now we have our tenderloin that's a little bit mangled, not too bad, and our chicken breast. And that is it. That's how you debone a chicken breast with that bigger bone side. And now don't throw away your bones. You want to keep these bones because, as you can see, they have quite a bit of meat on them. Each one you can only get so much off, but there's quite a bit of meat left on there. It might not look like it, but there is quite a bit left. And what I do is I either put all of the bones with this little bit of meat on them into a stock pot and cook them for a few hours to make chicken stock, or I will put them in the slow cooker to cook them with some veggies and water to make chicken broth that way. So don't throw these away. Be sure to use them to make chicken broth so you get the most for your money, and you'll be amazed at really how much meat comes off of here. You can use it for casserole or a soup. Works great. So be sure to try to use it all. And that is how you debone and take the skin off of a split chicken breast. And if you like this tutorial, I would love to have you subscribe to our channel. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.